Welcome back, everyone, to Let's Play Rule the Waves as the United States Navy, episode number 10. It has been pointed out, and thankfully, that we have a middle turret in our Lightning configuration, which doesn't really make sense if you want to go... obviously we can remove... Well, but this is not quite the design. Let's get this one open. So basically, I don't know how I missed this. It's obvious that there's 5 items here, not 4. We're going to delete this one. Let's look at the weight we have. We're at 34,000. This is not that bad for weight. Actually, better than I expected. I don't remember what I was thinking when we originally started building this, but anyways, let's delete this turret. We had 22. Basically, we're even on weight, and we'll increase the guns for these two, and that means that we've saved ourselves 300 tons. There is a small price to pay, There's a small price to pay for this, right? In theory, we have less turrets, so if one of them is knocked out, more of our available firepower is decreased. But it's really only by 1 gun. So, yeah. So I think we'll be okay with this. Somebody also mentioned that you can get 2 aft firing, and the second one doesn't do that. Like, it's still slightly... maybe it's not for this. I don't know which one it was. Maybe it was aft superimposed. Let's try this. Okay. So let's put this one on with centerline as well. Midships, I should say. So is this... Well, let's put the midships second. So the aft centerline superimposed. There. Is this... It's slightly better going forward, what we can see. Is it's 30-degree angle going forward. So that means that basically the best gun to choose if you're not going to choose... if you go with all your super firing positions... But by the way, this does increase the cost of our super firing aft configuration. So I don't like this, but it's nice to know that basically this gun... is the next best gun to put. If you're going to have 5 guns on your ship, you should do these 5 turrets, not the midship one. These should be your choices, because this gives you the best firing angles. Like, there's no disadvantage to using this versus midship, but there's obviously an advantage that it looks like it's 30 degrees on the bottom instead of 45 degrees. Thanks for those who pointed that out, because that's really helpful. But we will delete that one because I'm going to stick with my normal... what I really consider this the ideal. We don't want to be running away too much, even though these are hefty battle cruisers who will, with 14-inch guns, they'll be relevant to the end of the game. A little bit low on deck armor, frankly. How much would it be to get that up to 3? Which, if we keep them at range, it's going to be nice to have them having a lot of deck. The alternative is I could keep the turret top high, and I could just try to get this up by a little bit. Well, we could do this. Or, instead, we could raise that again and just drop the conning tower down to 10, which I would prefer to do that. So, what does this mean? I mean, basically, we could probably increase the belt or the deck if I just decide to increase the tonnage. We actually, in a rare twist of fate, we don't have the money to do that at this exact moment. What other things we still don't have? Yeah, we still don't have that. So let's put this down to 1, and I'm not going to build it quite yet, but this is definitely the new design I'm settling on. It looks really good. Probably these torpedoes, underwater torpedoes, these are submerged. We can't use them if we're going anything more than 25. We don't really get a lot out of clearing them. As you can see, it's going to be like 80. Yeah. So in this case, only 60. So you really don't get very much. And that weight that you get back, or that it costs you to add them, whichever way you want to look at it, decreases with the tonnage of your ship. Oh, yeah. Well, okay. 1 tube. So it says 23, but technically we lost more than 23 because... the engines had to compensate for that extra weight. We had to put more... I don't know. It might just be the engines, but there's other things which have to compensate for the increase in tonnage. which increase the total tonnage anytime you just add, even though this is only 23. So, okay, let's save this as is, not build it, and we'll move on a little bit further in the game. Okay, let's see. All right, that's right. I built some more coastal forts in Panama. Just in case it's not clear why I'm building those, it's nice to reduce the invasion chance. As the United States, probably it's not as necessary, but obviously protecting Panama is very important. The coastal forts do a couple of things. First of all, they are physical entities in the tactical map, which probably most of you guessed. It's kind of hard to get them to actually function for you. It's very rare that, especially as the United States, like in the Mediterranean, you can run into them a lot, but not usually as much when you're playing. In the Caribbean, you might find them, but not in Southeast Asia. I don't think I've ever been able to use coastal guns in Southeast Asia. Yeah, that's right. So this monthly balance is deceptive because we're refitting so many ships right now, and that's the real reason. So speaking of refitting ships, do we have anything else that needs to be refit? It would be great if we got better 6-inch guns. Farragut's are from 1908. They're probably overdue for a refit then. I mean, I don't think anything will change, but just to keep them from being obsolete. Yeah, I mean, they already have quality 1 4-inch guns. That's not going to change. We don't usually ever put anything but local fire control on our destroyers. The Farragut. Farragut. I think we'll just save this one exactly how it is and then rebuild it. So that is what we're going to do. Get all the rest of them. Rebuild. Very good. Okay, so then what's next? The Galvestons are 1911. The Bennies are 1911. I don't think we need any of these to be refit quite yet. New Havens are 1912. That's our torpedo. Yeah, now that we have triple turrets, triple torpedo tubes, we could even build another destroyer. But frankly, we have enough. Let's just look at the almanacs. It's state of affairs. Everyone likes to see this from time to time, right? How are we doing versus the rest of the world? Well, we're very light on dreadnoughts and on battlecruisers compared to who we should kind of stack up against, and that's Great Britain. Now, in terms of tonnage, we're only down by half, but if I'm saying it that way, that means that we're down by a lot more in ship count itself. Yeah. Although I do prefer, I've mentioned this several times, but in this series I'll do my one obligatory mention that I prefer larger, stronger individual quality ships than quantity. In this game, essentially, there's no such thing as quantity being its own quality, because usually only a select number of your ships are brought into battle. And then it's more or less an even number on both sides. So you're much better off just building better ships, in my opinion. Okay, so I'm not sure what I'm waiting for to build this Lightning class. I've been slow to build things. It's 1915. We're not doing too bad. Okay, better torpedoes. Italy. I don't really want to fight Italy, but you know what? What do we have to lose? What could Italy possibly do? They have 2 dreadnoughts and at most 3 battlecruisers. We'll soon have 3 battlecruisers. We already have 3 dreadnoughts. We could easily destroy their fleet. It's a weird situation when we're we have so many more ships than the opponent. So we very easily could blockade them. And I don't think that they would have any means of projecting their force to Southeast Asia even though we would probably keep. But, basically the point is we don't want to go to war with them. I don't really... prestige is not that big of a deal. We'll take the attention hit. Protests are held in some cities in USA demanding an end to excessive arms expenditure. What are you talking about? We're negative on budget. That unrest level is incredibly high. Now, what is the possible causes of that? I don't know if there's anything I could do to change that. I think what will happen, at some point, you can have a revolt and lose, but that's usually during war. I'm actually surprised that unrest is getting this high during peace. Our training is active. We're good there. We're not going to decrease research. What are we doing for research right now? Still a miracle to me that we got quality 1 2-inch guns before we got anything useful. Could really use, for example, bigger guns. But from what I remember, actually a lot of the other larger nations didn't have better guns. So maybe it's just a slow progression of big guns in general in this alternate universe, this alternate historical timeline. Yeah, so we'll do this for all of them. And as long as we're consistent about it, I think they all retain their class. We will check because I remember that they're actually finishing in 1915. Does that mean that their refit time is still 1914 like the original ones? Or does it become 1915 and therefore a new class, which will be a pain in the butt? But let's just do the experiment. That's the only way we find out, is by doing the experiment once. I'm seeing 1914s here, so that's good. I assume that means that it was selected as 1914. That's good. The game is intelligent. Sometimes it's intelligent, you know. Okay, yeah, so we'll obviously take all the technology we can buy. Extended double bottom, so better defenses essentially. Fire control stuff, that's good. Superimposed turrets on. These are now, I guess, at this point, heavy cruisers, no longer armored cruisers. So our heavy cruisers could have superimposed turrets, but it's an argument that or not an argument, but a discussion I've had so many times that I just don't find endgame armored cruisers or heavy cruisers. I don't find any of those useful. We have actually a lot of armored cruisers still, but they'll be relegated. Yeah, Northeast Asia. The ones on the East Coast, in fact, we might as well just... Well, you know, these could be effective at hunting down light cruisers and stuff, which end up raiding in the East Coast. But I do want some of them to go to the West Coast as well. How many did we send? We sent a bunch of battleships over, which is also good. These battleships should be clearing out of the East Coast area. We basically... I'd like to, because the game doesn't allow order of battles, which I've actually recommended for Ruled Waves 2, I'll have to see. I actually need to check up on my comment. I commented on the forum there. But anyway, I wanted... we don't have that option in Ruled Waves. Hopefully we have it in Ruled Waves 2. So I like to keep like ship classes together. So this Eagle being here, it's probably because it was refit. These other two are probably because they're refit. We might even want these in the Caribbean. Now, let's move them to the Caribbean for now. Although, I mean, technically, we're not going to want them in the Caribbean. We'd want our main guns in the Caribbean, because I imagine the East Coast is not going to be a war zone at all. But it could be, the Caribbean surely could be. Actually, that might not be true. Okay, so it's only the Brits in both of these. So yeah, okay, we'll just be projecting our force outside of the Americas. Okay, well, we're still waiting on this battlecruiser. I'm sure everyone's screaming at their... Oh, and there we go. 16-inch guns of quality 0. Well, we know our dreadnoughts. Okay, so that now it's... Which one comes first, the dreadnought or the battlecruiser? I was going to build a battlecruiser. Is that the correct order? Yeah, because the Philippines have been built. So this will be our battlecruiser for now. But we're immediately going to do this. We're going to build it immediately. I'm going to go back. I'm going to open the Lightning. The Lightning is not going to get, because she's a battlecruiser, she's not going to get the better 16-inch guns. We will be putting the 16-inch guns on our dreadnoughts, and I'm going to get a dreadnought class out now. So let's think about this. This is going to be a lighter battlecruiser, I'd say. I'm going to use its displacement as part of its defenses. And what I mean by that is, just the heavier a ship is, the more hits it can take. It has torpedo defense. It's in pretty good shape. So we're going to build it as it is. I don't know if there's been any changes. 43, actually, yeah. So I guess we have had some weight savings, which has brought we can get our conning tower back up. I don't really care about that, though. Yeah, you know what? I would prefer to get... How much is this going to cost? Ooh, that is a lot. I certainly do want that. maybe 5-inch guns are what we end up wanting then. I mean, look at this, a pretty big difference from 6 to 5. We can get 35,000. We can squeeze in another pair. Can do that if we lower the conning tower. Yeah. Okay. Okay, fine. So a 9-inch conning tower, this is basically just going to deflect very few shots, but we're able to get 120 rounds per gun. So if we stay at distance, I mean, in theory, I never have fought this way, but in theory, this ship is very good at keeping its distance, fighting at max range, and just waiting for low percentage shots to fall. Because one, we have a lot of low percentage shots. We have 12 guns that we'll be firing. And two, we have a lot of ammunition. So in theory, we can wait them out. Now, what actually happens is they try to close or they try to escape, and we'll end up only using like our forward firing guns, and they'll run out of ammunition. But yeah, that's always the theory, and I probably just need to stop even considering this. You know what might even be better, in fact, was instead of doing 9-inch belt, getting the turrets up higher. Which is more important? Turrets at 12 inches? Turrets at 12 is pretty good. I mean, it's going to stop a lot of stuff. And flash fires are not a huge not a huge issue for the United States. Yeah, if this is going to fight at range, the reason why this is useful is if you start in a naval battle, though. And it's so light. It's so little. We're going to keep it as like an emergency measure. So just one torpedo, even that one torpedo can make a difference. Okay, so we have 9 5-inch guns on each side. I like that. 14-inch guns. I was going to say 14 guns, but no, 12 14-inch guns. Good turret distribution. Okay, the lightning class has been finished. You can only beat a dead horse for so long. So this is where wow, it's expensive. Our ship names come in. So lightning class has now been complete. We'll get the Jarrett as another one. And we'll get the Palatka as another. So 3 in the lightning class. Expensive ships. We'll wait a little bit on the Dreadnoughts, although we know what guns that we're going to use to build them. So now, I think that some people might be wondering why I didn't choose to go with the 16-inch guns instead of the 14-inch guns on battlecruisers. And I would say the one reason why that wouldn't have been a bad idea is if I really did commit to this long-range gun engagement. Because your accuracy is a function of your maximum range, first of all. And second of all, just obviously the 16-inch guns have much larger maximum range. But usually towards the end of the game, as soon as you have increased elevation for your guns, even 14-inch guns are about at the limit of vision. So you're vision limited rather than actual gun range limited. You can fire, and sometimes you see that the AI is firing from off screen, basically. I don't know if that's a bug or some kind of mechanic I don't understand. But okay, so we don't want any treaties now, by the way. We don't want any, what are they called? Disarmament conferences. That would be very bad. Well, right now it would be okay. We'd lose these 3 ships, but we haven't spent that much money on them yet, thankfully. I don't know if you can hear in the background. It sounds like I got a tea kettle going off. It's unfortunately not just a tea kettle. Okay, so Spy obviously will denounce Japan. I would not mind going to war with Japan. I prefer them. Italy is the least favorable target, basically. There's not much you can do with that. Okay, Minister of the Interior has raised concerns that high naval expenditures might lead to increased social unrest. What is your response? A strong Navy will make the people proud. The Navy could get by... Yikes! Well, we're headed towards something here. I'm actually okay to experiment with this. I'm going to get some comments. Okay, wow, we have destroyers up to 1,500, which is the max you can get. Okay. Okay, I'm pretty sure that will mean we lose a little bit of our... What the heck? Our budget really is insane. I don't know what's going on here, but let's start designing this Dreadnought. Or, you know what? Let's get one more Lightning class. That to me makes the most sense. Oh, well, the Hornet and Lexington seem like they should be in the same class. Did they not? Lightning, Hornet, Lightning, Lexington. Well, okay. I know them. We all know them as, well, related battles. Related carriers, I should say, from World War II. But we'll separate them just because it's going to make sense to do so. I only want, I think, one more of these. Okay, we could get two. How good are these Lightnings? 3-inch deck, I mean, it's good. Low belt. Decent turret. I don't care about the conning tower, I really don't. I'm happy with that decision. 5-inch gun's not amazing. It's going to take care of destroyers, though. I'm just trying to figure out if I should invest in this more or wait to invest in my upcoming new Dreadnought. But for the upcoming new Dreadnought, I do want double turrets. I want double secondaries. We'll use it to embarrass Russia, because tensions up with anybody usually means money. Actually, that might be the reason why people are so protesting this unrest. Okay, let's look. A revolution in South American country has left some of our nationals stranded. What do we do? Oh gosh. Well, this is probably going to end up with us going to war. But if we're at war, I mean, that is extremely high unrest to go to war with. Oh, man. International squadron or resolve the crisis via diplomatic means. Well, prestige, I think, is the best bet for us. I think that's our best bet, because that may combat possible unrest. I don't know. I don't really know the unrest mechanic very well. It's funny, because I played this game for 1,000 hours. Who knows? Again, Russia is still a better target than Italy. Anybody but Italy is our policy right now. Yeah, well, let's reduce the budget. I mean, I don't have control over this. Why are they protesting me? I don't have a control at all of the yearly budget. Otherwise, I'd probably piss everyone off every single campaign. Okay, so that's good for our upcoming Dreadnoughts. Torpedo technology doing more damage. Great for our destroyers. Everyone is considered making symbolic concessions to France. No, I want war. This might be good. No? No tensions? Ah, man. I want lower tensions with Italy and higher tensions with France. By the way, we are at the brink of war, so let's distribute our ships. Let's do a really good job about this. Okay, so to fight France or Italy, it's going to be... We'll want our Dreadnoughts actually in the Caribbean, because that's where they have... Wait, we can't get to the Mediterranean. The Mediterranean is 2 jumps away no matter what. Doesn't matter where we are here. We have to go down and up or up and down. That's unfortunate. So I guess it doesn't matter. But for France, we could start moving our sphere of influence into West Africa. Let's see. Southeast Asia, though. It's got to be Southeast Asia for my battleships. We are already somewhat... Okay, let's move you to the West Coast as well. We'll move them over like once war begins, exactly. But we'll start getting some over there in this preparation phase. So Southeast Asia, and we have 2, which I guess are going to hold the East Coast. Just enough, basically, to prevent us from being invaded. And you will go to the West Coast as well. So that's a lot of battleships all going to the West Coast. But hey, we don't need these for anything else, right? Let's also get some, in a similar way, armored cruisers moving over to the West Coast. Why West Coast and not Southeast Asia or Northeast Asia? Because, as someone pointed out, these are actually still home zones. It doesn't say home zone. Does it? Home area. Yeah, so I guess you have to look inside the actual colonies. But if you have a home area in these, it counts as the lowest maintenance. basically it's the home area maintenance, which we can see from here. For example, these battleships, 280 here, but 234 here, and also 234 on the west coast. It would be 234 as well in the Caribbean. So, yeah. Increased endurance, that's really good actually. I think does that help with your coal ships? I'm not sure. I think it does, but I mean, endurance, I've never run out of fuel in a game ever. I've never seen it. I've never heard of it happening. If you've ever had that happen, let me know, but I don't think that it's possible. I think the effect of that mainly is going to be just on our coal ships being able to burn a little bit longer before they come up with before they have to, like, when they're stokers, when the people shoveling coal just literally can't shovel coal fast enough, whatever it is, the reason why they start slowing down their max speed. Oh, and also they have to, like, I think it's not valves, but the tubes get blocked, don't they, with garbage, fouled. I'm not like much. I don't have much knowledge about steam engines, any of that. So I can barely describe how my car engine works. So yeah, okay, wow, 3-inch and 5-inch quality 1 for the Japanese. What? We're on very high for everyone, so it's not like we're gonna run into a problem. I mean, we should be stealing technology. That's how we got the 5+ centerline, by the way. I didn't mention it, but I was laughing with a lot of the people in the comments that apparently our spies stole the 5+ technology, which is funny. I don't know who we stole it from. I didn't see the message. I still don't know what the time mark was for it, but if it was from Russia, that's funny because somebody suggested I increase my spies against Russia. So they are completely to blame, in a good way, for us acquiring that good technology. So let's see. A lot of money. It's either going to be time to build. So we could build the Lexington. How is that? I'm trying to figure out how good this ship is. It's all or nothing. This Lightning class. It's all or nothing. Let's wait. I think let's wait. With 570 as our yearly budget, I'm presuming our natural amount is 400. So even that, we should be able to get to 300 funds saved without any protests from people. Okay, increased elevation. Immediately, everyone goes back and gets refit. Let's start with our best class first, because we don't have extremely high tensions right now. And we don't have better 14-inch guns, right? Yeah, so let's just do this again. Which means all of our battleships have to come back, unfortunately. It's actually surprising. This rebuild cost is expensive. Well, I guess it's 685, and their natural, their like in-service maintenance cost is already 576, so it's not that much higher, but it seems like a lot. So increased elevation, just to, let's see the difference. 22, 24. This is significant, so it's exactly a 10% increase. So 22,000 went up by 2,200 to 24,200. So that's nice. We have a mechanic, a formula for that. I don't know if it increased any of this stuff. Let's look at 19.5, 3.2. It probably could. No. 8.5, 3.2. So it doesn't increase penetration. So that means even though we'll be firing from a longer distance, we don't have a better chance of actually penetrating. However, this is related to accuracy, as I already mentioned. So the shot you're firing is a function of your maximum range. I don't know exactly how, but it somehow is. So higher maximum range leads to better accuracy at a given range. There's not anything else we can do for these ships, I think. Yeah, I mean 12.5 turrets when we got 12 on the Lightnings. Well, this will be a very quick rebuild. Let's get them done. Okay, these 5 are taken in. In fact, we ought to, with the tensions low, I think we ought to just clear everyone immediately. Just do it. Don't have better... Yeah. This will be a little bit cheaper. I'm trying to think if there's any other changes we want to make. Most of these ships have just been redesigned, or refit, I should say. So I'm not expecting there's anything we should change, but I love the secondaries on the von Steuben. So what she turns into now, although she does have, at least still 6 13-inch guns, what she turns into now is really a secondary like a support Dreadnought, if there is such a thing. Because her secondaries, 12 6-inch guns is really going to be helpful gunning down some of the smaller things. And with her increased range, I mean, that's, again, increased accuracy. If we're the first nation to get that, which we may be, it's going to be a big advantage for us in any kind of fight. Yeah, so this is just a hair faster than we can use these, but most of the time you aren't actually going that high. We could bold ships, by the way, if we want to give them artificial torpedo defense. I mean, what torpedo defense isn't artificial, but I mean, like post-construction. Slows them down a fair bit. For a battlecruiser, obviously not ideal when they are supposed to rely on speed to begin with. So, increased elevation, just wanted to double check. It's nice. Yeah, these are not bad ships. I mean, I designed them, so of course I'm going to have some bias. The reason why I finished those designs is because I thought they were good. We really just cannot go to war, can we? Ambassador from Italy, I think that this might be interesting. Disarmament conference, no. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because it doesn't cost prestige, and the people are already very upset at my budget. Okay? This is going to make for amazing light cruisers. Amazing. Now that we can build, we can basically make them into torpedo light cruisers. What kind of things can we get on these? So we have 5+. As many centerline as we want then. Do we get double turrets on these yet? I don't know. Yeah. Build a Nation has not researched double or triple turrets on light cruisers. Okay, so that's fine. And I also forgot about this. We want to keep these turrets at 2, which makes them gun shields. The difference between this and 2.5 should be pretty big, but it doesn't seem that big. Oh, okay, but if you look at the difference between 1.5 and 2, it's like 20. This is 180 almost. And that's another 40. So it is a big difference between 2 and 2.5. I think I neglected that in some of my other light cruiser designs. No, I did. Okay, 2. I did that. Galveston. I didn't do it on the Galveston class. Okay. Which is another reason why that might not be as good as the Grand Rapid. I kind of forgot about that. It just feels like it's time for a new light cruiser, although we did build these in 1911. That wasn't that long ago. I still think we're going to sit on our budget for a little bit, which is like the most offensive thing I can do to viewers. I don't know about this. Oh boy. I mean, we can get increased elevation too. All right, let's map this out. Forward. I hate that one. Let's do DE still, and then all the rest will be centerline. Any centerline, you are in. Aft. Single turrets. How many is that? Is that too many? Can we do this? It's overweight. That's it. It can be done. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good gracious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's a 7-gun broadside. Very doable, it looks like. We can get this thing. Oh my gosh. Deck of 2. Belt 2.5. Oh my gosh. Lots of ammunition. Take away the secondary guns, not going to need them. And that might be the breaking point. Oh! It has torpedoes too. This is insane. Oh my. 4 torpedo broadsides is, I mean, fantastic. Medium, normal, oil. I mean, this is it. How can I say no to this? Do we have mines? I don't think we did ever get. Yeah. We did not. Huh. quite a ship. Conning tower can be dropped a little bit. I'm fine with a 4-inch conning tower, frankly. It doesn't get hit that often. Difference isn't that much, but, I mean, we just don't need it. What do we do about this? We're at 6,000. We could lower it and make more of these. I think that we have enough light cruisers as is, so what we want are really good... Wait, we can do triple mounts. Why aren't we doing triple mounts? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. My goodness. That's really something. That is really something. I almost feel like 7 6-inch guns is overkill, but I mean, this is a beast. There's no way I can not build this. There's no way I can not build this. There's no way I can build this, is what I said the first time, if we double invert. So yeah, but there's definitely no way I cannot build this. This is like an amazing ship. I'm surprised that we don't have super firing. I guess that's not something you ever get on light cruisers. I must be thinking of the armored cruisers, or heavy cruisers. But it's just perfect. 175, probably not going to need that many rounds per gun, but it just worked out perfect. Okay. Let's get this to be the Great Lakes. I was kind of thinking it would be funny if we had the Great Lakes and then all the actual instances of the class were Great Lakes, like Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, etc. But we're not that coordinated. That's what I'm sure like the U.S. Navy would think to do, but we're picking usernames, so that's just a hodgepodge. I really, really like this ship. I get almost nervous when it works out this well. Like, did I mess something up? But it's just a great ship. What this means, of course, is that we'll get... I'm sure that we'll get... By the way, apologies about this Polish hero of the Revolutionary War. So he will definitely make it in. Thanks for the suggestion. I was started to say something... Oh, Rushmore's already in use. Okay. Rushmore's already being used. You're now done, and now the Great Lakes is done, so we'll just put CL here and see what other classes we get one day. Chickamauga. Great Lakes, good. We can afford a few of these, and I really want... Oh man, 6 torpedo broadsides. That is, by the way, I think what our destroyers give us right now. So that's crazy. These are just as capable as our destroyers. Obviously a fair amount more expensive. Was that Arcadia? Yeah. And Atlanta, the last one that we'll build for now. I'm expecting to go to war soon, and that budget might jump up a fair bit. So, you know what? We can do the Iroquois as well, because it kind of fits with the Chickamauga and all that. So we'll do that. Why not? Okay. Very good. Well, I think we're going to wrap this episode up here. We got a lot done. Advanced a fair amount of time. We're still having these protests. Unrest level 10, I mean, hey. People are not happy with the U.S. Navy. Why not? Look at how mighty and majestic we are. Probably a little bottom heavy right now. 24 versus, well, 52. Yeah, I guess not. 61 versus 71. Yeah, we're not that bottom heavy. In fact, if anything, 9 versus 7. 7 versus 20. No, I don't know how they do this. How do you do this, Great Britain? Your budget is lower than mine, but yet you have higher total tonnage. I mean, you could say that I have much less I'm not even sure what's the grammatically correct thing to say. We have many less ships than them. But even like you could just say, okay, our ships are better, so they cost more, but total tonnage should tell the bottom line, the true story. And it doesn't. They have 506 total tonnage of dreadnoughts, 315 in battle cruisers, and we only slightly exceed them in terms of battleships, which are cheap anyway. Jeez, and yet where are they getting their money from? They have double the amount of light cruisers of us. Which I was just saying, oh man, we have a lot of these. Probably too many. Probably too many destroyers. And they have more in just every category. How are they supporting their ships? This would be really interesting. I'm almost considering writing a message on the forum to the developer or to anybody who can answer this. How is it that Great Britain is affording this navy? They have less of a budget, and they have more ships on foreign stations, so technically their maintenance is higher as well. I don't fully understand. Yeah, I really don't. So maybe the cries of foul play with the AI cheating, there might be, unfortunately, something to that. But anyway, just rebuild this because I see that it's obsolete. And I'll look into what other ships we need to rebuild, maybe the Bennies. Oh, I mean, everything needs to get everything needs to get increased elevation. So we'll do that. I'll make a mental note or even a sticky note. I should probably put sticky note. To rebuild everything with increased elevation at the beginning of the next episode. So until then, thanks for watching and take care.